It's Monday, June 20th, 2026. Good day from South Africa and welcome to the Oysterberg channel. We're discussing farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa for June 2026, where we had 16 farm attacks and 1 farm murder. 3 incidents also occurred, including 2 murders, but those were outside of definition. The figures for June 2025 for comparison, 15 farm attacks and 1 farm murder. The totals for the first semester for 2026 now stands at 86 farm attacks and 17 farm murders. The weaponry or the armament that was used by the attackers included sharp object in 2 cases, firearms in 8 cases, multiple armament in 2 cases, and also 3 cases where it was not specified what the armament was used by the attackers. And then there was 1 incident where there was other means that was employed to execute the attack. Let's have a look at the numbers per province. There you can see on the screen, Gauteng 4 attacks, 1 murder, Northwest Province 2 attacks, Limpopo 4 attacks, Mpumalanga only 1 attack, Free State 1 attack, no murders. For KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, nothing to report. Western Cape still suffering under the spate of attacks in a certain area, and for the month of June, 4 attacks that was reported. For the Northern Cape, nothing to report. And then the cases that were outside of the definition, KwaZulu-Natal 2 cases, the Free State 1 case, that included the 2 murders. Coming up, let's look at the different cases per province. We're starting off with Gauteng West, busy as always, where on June the 11th at Sabrix, that's a brick factory in the Kameeldrift West area, workers were on their way home when 5 suspects held them at gunpoint and robbed them. They were also forced to transfer cash to one of the robbers' account. One also had a knife. The MO is to strike a conversation with the people before robbing the victims. The next one was on June the 16th, where 5 masked unarmed intruders overcame the security guard, tied him up, robbed him of his cell phone and flashlight. They also tampered with the security cams before fleeing. We move over to Gauteng North at the Kromdraai Agricultural Holdings in the Hammanskraal area, which is to the north of the capital Pretoria. On the 1st of June, the community heard shots and posted reports on social media. Services reacted at around 10 to midnight. When services arrived on the scene, Stephen Strivig was found dead on scene after being shot multiple times. According to reports, 3 perpetrators entered the home of Nico Strivig, his brother, first. He was overcome, tied up and forced at gunpoint to take the attackers to Stephen's place, which was on the same property. They tried to breach the house from the front door and then moved on to the back door. When Stephen opened the door, he was shot at point-blank range. The attackers looted several items, including tools and electrical appliances, before leaving the scene. Nico sustained light injuries and Stephen's wife was unhurt. Stephen was declared dead when services arrived. Gauteng West Rural. On June 28th at Muldersdrift, which is close to the Lanseria International Airport, 10 armed perpetrators entered the premises, overcame the guards and looted the business of electronics, computers, laptops, security equipment and cell phones. The guards were marched with them for the full duration of the robbery. The attackers also threatened to shoot the security dog, but the dog was put away into a kennel to be out of the way. We move over to the Northwest Province, June 18th, 2026, on Van der Hof Road in Kameeldrift West. Now this is where it starts becoming interesting because part of this area lies inside the boundaries of the Northwest Province. What happened here is that a number of assailants broke into the business. They brutally assaulted the guard before trying to flee in a vehicle with loot which was not specified. In the process, they lost control of the vehicle and crashed into the property across the road from there. They fled on foot. Services were requested, police and HEMS were on scene, and the guard was transported to hospital in a critical condition. The second one occurred On June 11th, 2026, at 95 Farms in the Mwene area, the guards were ambushed by two suspects with firearms. Guards were tied up. One managed to untie himself and free his partner before they went to the workers' quarters for help. Suspects fled with 20 meters of copper cable, radios, torches, and one radio was recovered. This is the second attack on this farm following the one in May 2026 and almost copycats the previous incident. There were 4 attacks in the Limpopo province. The first one was on June the 3rd at Mooi Valley Farm in the Tabazimbi area. Workers were queued at the farm shop that morning to do purchases for the day when the perpetrators arrived in the red VW Polo. All the workers were robbed of valuables and money before the perpetrators fled in the direction of the town of Brits. Services were alerted and the trio was arrested not long after at the Global Padstal. On June the 7th, 2026, at Bellevue Farm in the Alice Ross area, 3 attackers entered the lodge armed with firearms. 2 were wearing balaclavas and the third, a Zimbabwean, was not wearing anything. The victims were tied up before being robbed. The lodge was also ransacked. The attack stems out of the lodge being sold and workers not being paid. The loot included solar batteries, solar inverter, 2-way radios, workers' cell phones, and cash. The third attack was at Carlin Game Farm in the Groblersdal area, where the suspects with firearms broke the windows of the building to where the farm workers stayed, gaining access and robbing the workers of their valuables. One worker alerted the farm manager, who informed the farm watch and the Ratel TJ security. They drove to the housing and found some of the suspects leaving, who started to shoot at the manager. He returned fire and the suspects disappeared into the brush. The farmers closed the area and a drone was employed to search the area. One suspect was caught and all belongings of farm workers were recovered. Groblersdal Police and the LCRC and other stakeholders were informed. Suspects were handed over to the South African police. The fourth attack occurred on June 26 at Deer Park in the Tzaneen area. A well-known farmer was assaulted with a panga and sustained serious injuries. He was hospitalized and one suspect was arrested. According to the victim, Peter Buys, he was switching off irrigation pumps on the Friday morning when he noticed a man walking on the farm. He called 2 employees who were nearby on a quad bike to assist while he approached the man. According to him, the suspect lay down in long grass after spotting him, and when confronted, the man claimed he was looking for cattle. Peter questioned the explanation, noting that the property is enclosed by game fencing, making it unlikely that cattle would have wandered onto the farm. He asked him whose cattle they were, but didn't recognize the name he was given. Peter simply told the man he wasn't allowed to be there and asked him to come with him so that his workers could escort him off the property. As Peter returned after hearing his employees approaching, the situation escalated dramatically. The suspect pulled a panga out of nowhere and hit him at the back of his neck twice. Peter did not fall, and as he turned around, the suspect tried to strike him in the face, but he managed to grab hold of the panga with both hands and also grabbed the suspect by his clothing and subdued him until the workers arrived. The 2 employees kept restraining the suspect until the police arrived on scene. Peter Buys sustained 2 huge cuts that basically made one large wound from the top of his head down to the middle of his neck. He lost a massive amount of blood. There was also the risk of infection because it was believed the panga may have been used in poaching. After the incident, he was rushed to Tzaneen Mediclinic by his wife, and he has since been discharged. We move over to the far eastern parts of Mpumalanga, where on June 24, 2026, at the Abilene Farm in the Piet Retief area, the initial report stated that the herders fenced off an area ostensibly to hold stock in. But when Ken Baxter rode over on his motorcycle, as was his routine, he was unaware of the obstruction and drove straight into it, almost getting decapitated and getting tangled in the wires as well. After the incident, he drove home not knowing how he managed it afterward. Workers were arrested and it turned out they wanted to teach him a lesson because of his grumpy attitude. There was debate around this case, but as the incident did not result out of a direct conflict between the parties, it was verified. The town of Bothaville in the Free State is right in the middle of the maize belt in South Africa and also home to the Nampo exhibition annually, where farmers are also, those farmers who were murdered in the past year, were also remembered on the walls at Nampo. On June the 19th, the Boer couple arrived on their farm at around 8 p.m. when three men wearing balaclavas and gloves attacked them. One of the suspects hit Piet Boer on the head with a hammer, while the other two held his wife Eugene. The couple were then forced into the house where they were assaulted with a steel bar. The men demanded money from the couple. One of the attackers was armed with a firearm and ordered the man and women to sit on the bed while their mouths were taped shut and their hands were tied. The suspects ransacked the bedroom before fleeing with cash the couple had given them, a revolver and women's clothes and shoes. The couple were able to free themselves later that night and reported the attack to the police. Both victims suffered minor injuries during the incident. Firearms and personal effects were looted. The Western Cape suffered heavily under numerous attacks in the past 8 weeks, and I'm not going to try and count them now, but for the month of June, we have 4 attacks. The first one being on June the 2nd near Ridgeback Wineries in the Agterpaal area. 4 victims were involved, tied up and robbed by the balaclava-wearing perps. On June the 3rd, just down the road, Sandbury Farm, Bonneville Road in the Flottenburg area, 2 victims were tied up before being robbed. Firearms were looted. On June the 5th, 2026, at Winery Road, Firgrove in the Raithby district in Stellenbosch area, 2 victims arrived home and the man parked behind the property and noticed one attacker climbing through a window, followed by 3 more suspects. He tried to prevent them from entering the house, and while trying to inhibit one attacker, he was stabbed in the upper arm. The victim punched the attacker, after which the attackers fled. A male victim was admitted for treatment. Police services and Metro Police and security was mobilized and one attacker was arrested. The next attack was on June the 19th at Eendracht Farm and on Berdell Road, also at Raithby in the Stellenbosch area. The occupant of the dwelling was ambushed and tied up by 4 Bravo males armed with firearms and golf clubs. The loot in this case was not specified. There were 3 cases outside of definition, and I think at some stage I might have to share the definition with you, and I will have to get consent for that. But to get back to the attacks, on the 19th of June at the Ananda Tea Estate, an adult female and 2 minor children were the victims of a armed robbery. During this armed robbery, the attackers entered through the open dining room door, and the victims were held at gunpoint while being robbed of a television, a wristwatch, and cell phone. The woman was also forced to do an EFT to the value of 2,900 South African rand before the suspects demanded the keys to a silver Peugeot 208. They were locked inside the house and the suspects fled. The victims used a spare key to unlock the house before calling for assistance. What disqualified this case is that even though this estate is in a rural area, it's still an enclosed estate, so it does not qualify as a rural attack or a farm attack. The second one was on the 24th of June. That was in the Harry Smith area in the Free State. The previous one was in KwaZulu-Natal, where in the afternoon the bodies of the 2 children There were two brothers. The one, Reinetswe Lakaye, he was 9 years old, and Tabisha Lakaye, he was 14 years old. They were discovered outside their house that afternoon. They were both bound and mouths stuffed. They were severely assaulted and suffered stab wounds, and Tabisha was also burnt with a heater while stab wounds were administered by a screwdriver. Reinetswe died in hospital after he disclosed who the attacker was. What does qualify this is that the attacker was a family member, and we could not determine what the motive for the attack was, and that would have been a deciding factor to validate or verify this as a farm attack. The third one was also in KwaZulu-Natal. That was at Canelands. In KwaZulu-Natal, firearms were there, were employed there in that attack, and the attackers got away with something like 100 goats, which they loaded into a truck. A further 13 goats were loaded onto a trailer attached to the vehicle. The employee was forced to assist the suspects in loading the livestock, as the suspects' attempt to leave the trailer carrying the 14 goats became stuck while they were trying to recover it. The employee managed to break free, escaped, and alerted nearby residents. The suspects abandoned the trailer and fled the scene with a truck carrying the stolen livestock. The employee sustained minor injuries and reported being slapped during the robbery. What disqualified this case was the fact that it could not be determined or proven that this was actually in a rural area. Looking at the area on the map, we could see that it was actually very close to the a minor industrial area in that area. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please, if you can, if you are abroad and you're watching this video, please also share it. I've got a minor footprint across the States and Europe, and I would like to, for the sake of getting the message about farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa out from my side, to get a bigger footprint. So get the word out, get the details of each and every attack for each and every month out to the world outside. There's a lot being done to make the world aware of farm attacks and farm murders, especially the White Cross project that is being done by the Lex Libertas organization. But that's only two voices. There are other voices as well, but each and every voice needs to speak loudest possible, and only your liking and sharing of this video can do that. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. Hit the subscription block, and also ring the little bell so that if the next video drops, you can get an immediate notification. I know the notifications are slow, and we've got reasons for that, or we suspect that there might be shadow banning because of the content of these videos. I try to keep it bloodless as far as possible, but it's not always the case, because we need to get the full story of farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa out to the world out there, so that the world can understand the plight of South African farmers in South Africa. Thank you once again for watching. Take care of yourselves. Good night.